Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 4 rounds in the super featherweight division. Brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry, along with their great sponsors. 32 Red, Foot Asylum, and Unibet. Timekeeper is Brett Bowles, and when the bell rings, our referee in charge. And scoring this contest will be Ian John Lewis. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the red corner, he's wearing black with blue and weighed in at 9 stone 5 pounds. Coming to us from Telford, Shropshire, he has 28 professional bouts to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dean Jones. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing white with blue and weighed in the same as his opponent, 9 stone 5 pounds. Hailing from Reading, he is undefeated with 2 wins. One of his 2 wins comes by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Charles Boom Boom Frankham.
At all times, you guys like the rules, watch the feet, and pick them punches up. Now shout break and break through them. And remember, defend yourselves at all times.
Plenty of support in the arena for Charles Frankham from the renowned fighting family. And you can see towers over his opponent, Dean Jones from Telford. Very much a journeyman, Dean Jones, having his first fight since March last year. But interestingly, you heard his record, only 1 win in 28 fights, but he's only been stopped once. And Charles Frankham, couple of years since his last fight, so really trying to relaunch his career, Ben.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of talk of Charles, obviously achieved a hell of a lot as a junior, as an amateur, and been a little bit inactive in his pro career, but hopefully he can build some momentum here, and he started well.
Starting nicely. You heard about those amateur successes, Commonwealth Games gold, youth Commonwealth Games gold medalist, and competed as well in the European and World Youth Championships. Some of our older viewers will remember his granddad, Gypsy Johnny Frankham, British light heavyweight champion back in 1975. I wonder if he's here tonight.
Like you said, Charles, he towers over his opponent and he's tall for the weight, but I think it's also important that he's able to give different looks, different heights, and doesn't remain too tall throughout. Gives himself other defensive options and offensive options.
He will be wanting to get rid of some ring rust, no doubt. Fine amateur career, had 71 wins against 6 defeats. Boom, boom. Ray Mancini.
I think it's important to mention as well, Dean Jones never been stopped.
Yeah, he's a durable type. Frankham trying to make him just punch at shadows and showing some elusive skills in this opening round. Jones going looking for him, trying to cut off the ring, but it's a difficult job to get to him. Get through with a glancing blow with that overhand right, Jones, but he's not had much success in this opening round. There's a decent body shot from Frankham and another. Well, I'd reckon that's a clear round to Charles Frankham. Ben Davison giving the opening round to Charles Frankham. What's Dean Jones going to be able to do about it in the second? He had the advice from his corner, the impression that they'd just like to see him plant his feet a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to see him hold his feet a little bit more and vary that look up. Earlier on in the first round, he dropped a nice jab to the body, and that was what I was talking about being able to vary his height, different looks, and set up other options and keep Dean Jones guessing. Does have his gloves held low, doesn't he? And Jones at the moment, he's not able to get to him, but he seems punch like that. He wasn't too far away. He's got to be careful. He's often coming out front foot first, pulling out, walking back, we call it, rather than a step back with a back foot first, keeping his base. In between moments like this, I'd like to see him little fret, little feint, changing tempo. Otherwise, you end up same time punching a bit like that exchange there. Which Charles did get the better of. Had some physical problems, Charles, which has led to him being out of the ring. Had a back injury. I'm told that he's 100% again now, though, and he'll want to make up for lost time. 22 years old, 10 years, the junior man in here tonight. Ian John Lewis trying to get the action going again. No knockdown, says the referee. Two wins so far, Frankham, one of them by stoppage. Oh, that's sweet. It's good work from Frankham there, building on his success. I think it's important in these stages of the young professional career that they're not over-eager looking for the stoppage, developing their craft, developing their skills against extremely tough journeymen like Dean Jones. You can gain invaluable experience. Fighting in front of a crowd again, and a fair few of Frankham's supporters have made their way into the SSE arena. Well, Jones is tough, but he's not coming close to winning these rounds. And as we come towards the end of the second, looks emphatically as though that's another in the bag for Frankham. Let's take a look again at some of the action from this second round. Yeah, some nice work there. I think, like I was saying before, I think it's important that Charles doesn't look and tries too eager to stop Dean Jones. He looks a lot more composed and comfortable in that second round there, and I'd like to see the same again going into the third. A little bit more settled in his feet and building on his attacks. Well, he's got two in the bag now. Halfway stage. Jones coming forward, trying to land body shots, looking for those hooks. Good footwork again from Frankham. He's elusive, isn't he? He is, and I like more importantly, he resettled and repositioned himself back in the centre there and established himself and took back control. And again there you can see him re-centre back in the position. Good timing on the jab there, brilliant. Oh, hello. A little bit of flashy stuff. Borderline alley shuffle. Even there, that smart boxing, the ref's broken. Charles walked straight back to the centre and claimed the centre of the ring again there. Nice right hand and again. And caught by a left though. Yeah, just in moments like that, I don't think he needs to move off there. A little feint or something to threaten and keep Dean Jones occupied. It'll help him
reposition without having to bounce away and give momentum away.
Well, he's had to take a couple of headshots in this third. Jones perhaps will take a little bit of heart from that. He's lost his last 17, Jones, so I guess he knows the score. He's here as the journeyman against the young prospect. 5 of his last 6 fights were against undefeated fighters. He knows the business as a result of that. He's a very busy boxer.
I'd like to see a few more feints from Charles. It's going to help him control the pace. If you're constantly having to punch to keep the opponent off, you know, it's inefficient. I'd like to see him feint, control the ring without having to work too hard and keep Dean Jones under control.
How much pop do you think Frankham's got in his punches?
I think it's hard to gauge off a fight like this because, like we say, Dean Jones has never been stopped. And he's still young, Charles. I think that's something that you'd look at more later on in his career. I would look at efficiency at the moment. And Dean Jones is able to just push the pace a little bit quicker than, not that Charles is in any trouble, but a little bit quicker than what we would like.
He's being dragged into a bit of a battle here in this third round.
But he looks comfortable and he's pushing Dean Jones off and working his own body shots up close as well, which is impressive.
Good hand speed and good accuracy as he manages to pierce that high-held guard. Third round over. Another one to Frankham?
Yes, for sure. Just like I say, I think I'd just be worried about Charles being a little bit more efficient.
He's surely already done enough to win the fight. See if he can show something a bit special in this last, the fourth. Jones again trying to walk him down.
That's the difference there. He's shuffling back foot first and walked Dean Jones straight into the backhand there, which is lovely. That's boxing on the back foot, not being pushed around the ring. Just pulls up a little bit high sometimes, Charles. Needs to be wary of that.
And he's clipped by that left hand. He does stand tall, doesn't he? He's 5'11", which is big for the weight.
See, in between these moments, sorry to interrupt there, John, I'd like to see a few feints from Charles here in between these moments.
Well, they'll study the footage, no doubt, afterwards, go through it.
Brilliant body shot.
Jones felt that.
Definitely felt that one.
You can see he's trying to cover up, trying to protect himself, and another one going in from Frankham.
Charles just needs to mix up the tempo and the power of these shots. Make it harder for Dean Jones to brace and anticipate the impact.
If you were in his corner, though, I mean, to come back after 2 years and to perform as he has done, you'd be relatively pleased, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think it's a good performance. I think these are the type of fights that are invaluable for fighters. Again, they're just worried about him pulling out high, but I've definitely seen progress since his last fight.
Certainly got good hand speed. There's another one around the back of the head from Jones. As Frankham ducked a little low.
Sometimes the safer place to be is up close. Sometimes it's better to finish your attack, step in and smother your opponent, and smother the counter.
Jones contemptuously with his gloves held low now. Frankham, I think, may be thinking that the work is done now and just trying to stay out of any trouble in these closing seconds, the last 30-odd seconds of the fight. Frankham clan will be here, in force, watching on. And it looks as though there's going to be a little cause for celebration, because he's surely come through these 4 rounds and he's finishing, putting his moves together, and once more making Jones punch thin air as he goes headhunting himself in the closing seconds of the fight, and he just cannot get to Charles Frankham, who's won that one pretty emphatically. Yeah,
Charles has won that one. A good performance, especially when you take into consideration 2 years out of the ring. And areas to work on, which is, there's nothing wrong with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, Ian John Lewis, scores this contest 40-36 in favor of your winner and still undefeated, Charles Boom Boom Frankham.
Great ovation from his fans. That makes it 3 out of 3. Charles Frankham will want to move his career on as soon as possible.
Charles Frankham, 2 years out the ring, 2 years not knowing when your next fight was going to come. It's finally come. How was it?
It was good, obviously, to be back under the lights and get the 4 rounds in. Good to be back, obviously, with all the fans and everything. And I'm excited for what's ahead of me.
It's your Queensbury debut. I know even in your last fight you didn't get many rounds in. This guy doesn't get stopped a lot, so really it was an opportunity to get some rounds in, right?
I think he's only been stopped once, I'm sure. But it was good to get some rounds, and obviously I've been out the ring for 2 years, and good to get the experience back. Obviously buzzing to be back now. I was training all last year, obviously trying to get a fight, but it never happened. So I've only been improving really. But obviously there's a lot of ring rust still there. I haven't boxed for 2 years, and obviously I'm pleased to be back now and showing off my skills.
And there certainly were skills on display. Some of that amateur schooling, I mean, you won almost everything there was to win as an amateur, and you really showed that off tonight. How important is that amateur schooling going to be going forward in your pro career?
Oh yeah, obviously it's a big, obviously it helps you a lot. As you said, I won everything as an amateur. The only thing I never went to was the Olympics, but I went to the Worlds, I went to the Europeans, Commonwealths, everything. Obviously it's great learning, and obviously to bring it to the pro game it's really good to obviously be behind you.
The other thing you appear to have brought to the pro game is some incredible footwork, and I'm not talking about boxing. I saw your dancing in there. What was all that about?
No, it's good, obviously gets the crowd going as well. But there'll be more of that soon in my next fight. Don't worry about that. It's not just a one-off.
Where have we landed on a nickname for you? Because I heard it was a bit up in the air.
Yeah.
What are you, Charles?
Boom boom.
Oh, boom boom. There's your answer. Boom boom, Frankham. So what sort of message do you think you sent out to Frank, who was obviously watching tonight as well, to your fans? What sort of statement have you made as you start your Queensbury career?
To be honest, I think I made a good statement. Obviously, I never boxed for ages. But I've been training in the gym, been learning. It was just really ring rust in there today. Obviously there was a lot better nerves where I never boxed for so long, but there's always nerves. I think nerves does me good because it keeps me sharp, it keeps me on point. But obviously there was a lot of nerves today, obviously where I've been in the ring. But I just want Frank to keep me out now, keep me active. And obviously I'll show him some proper moves, to be honest with you. I'll show him moves that Pernell Whitaker couldn't show him.
There you go. Are you going to be the UK's answer to Pernell Whitaker?
I'll be better than Pernell Whitaker at the end.
Well, there's your headline. Goodness me, some statement, Charles. Anyone you want to thank?
Obviously thank my 2 coaches, Michaela and Charlie. Thank my dad, thank Frank Francis, thank Queensbury Promotions, thank Warren Promotions, obviously for putting me on the show. All the people who's brought the show together, thank them all. Obviously thank my dad, because without my dad I wouldn't be here, to be honest with you.
Same.
Yeah, without my dad I wouldn't be here. Obviously taught me everything I know. Since I've been a kid he's trained me, so and to be honest he just started getting back involved now, so I'm back to my old self now. I did go through a stage where I changed my boxing up, but it was the silliest mistake I ever done. I can fight on the front foot, but when I be flashy and get my hands down moving, then that's the best of me. When I try and be just static and just move or just right, then obviously you get catch with silly shots. what my dad taught me to do was hit and don't get hit, and that's the art of boxing. So, but obviously, I would like to thank everyone. But
obviously, you got to be you. You got to do your style, because you don't want to be like anyone else, right? You want to be the first Charles Frankham.
That's it. I'm the only Charles Frankham till I have a baby. To be honest with you, obviously, I don't want people to say, oh, he fights like him or he's like him. I want them to say, like, oh, he's only one of a kind, you know what I mean? Which, to be honest with you, I don't think no prospect at the minute fights like me. Obviously, there's a lot of great prospects coming through, but none of them don't fight like me. And I'll prove that, obviously. The more fights I get, the better I'm only going to get. And obviously, I've matured more into a man now. Before, when I had my 2 pro fights, I was in a kid's body. Now when you look at me, I'm muscling up, I'm bulking up, so I'm more of a man now. I'm punching a lot harder, which is good. So I'm just looking forward to stepping forward in my career.
It looks like the future's bright. Many congratulations on a great debut for Queensbury. Well done, Charles.
Thank you very much. Can I just say one thing as well? There's a little young kid just passed away. He was a great boxer, young Queensberry. Obviously, it's a tragedy. He was a great boxer, boxed for the Europeans, won like 4 or 5 national titles. Great kid as well, good, like a friend of mine. I just want to say, obviously, rest in peace to a young champ.
Very well said, Charles.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers.